Former President Donald Trump's rally statement was more than just a headline. It was a genuine wake-up call for Washington, a moment that forced the political establishment to sit up and take notice. Trump's visible shock that Canada, a country often seen as America's quiet neighbor, was now leading the charge in critical minerals, sent ripples through the halls of power. This wasn't just political rhetoric or campaign bluster, it was a stark and honest admission that the global balance of power was shifting in unexpected ways. For decades, the U.S. viewed Canada as a reliable, stable ally, almost an extension of its own economic interests. But while America was focused elsewhere, Canada was quietly positioning itself as a key supplier of essential raw materials. The realization hit Washington hard, challenging long-held assumptions about America's self-sufficiency and even raising questions about national security. Critical minerals are the backbone of modern technology and defense systems, powering everything from smartphones to fighter jets. Yet, the U.S. now finds itself increasingly reliant on Canadian resources to keep its industries running. In response, American leaders are scrambling to understand the full scope of this new dependency, holding urgent meetings and commissioning reports to assess the risks. Trump's pointed question, "How did this happen?" now echoes across Washington, sparking debate and concern among policymakers and analysts alike. The answer is clear. While Canada invested strategically in its mining sector, building up capacity and expertise, the U.S. lagged behind, hampered by regulatory hurdles and a lack of long-term vision. The result is a new reality, one where the U.S., once the dominant partner, now finds itself dependent on its northern neighbor for resources vital to its future. This dramatic shift has left America looking north, not just for minerals, but for answers about how to secure its own future in a rapidly changing world. Critical minerals are the vitamins of the modern world, quietly powering the technologies and infrastructure we rely on every day. Just as vitamins are essential for our health, these minerals are vital for the health of our modern society. They are absolutely essential for the development and production of advanced technology and defense systems, forming the backbone of innovation and security. Critical minerals include elements like lithium, cobalt, and rare earths, materials that might seem obscure, but are actually the unsung heroes behind much of our modern life. These minerals are crucial for manufacturing high-tech devices, from smartphones to satellites, and are indispensable for maintaining national security. For example, your smartphone depends on these minerals for its batteries, magnets, and even its vibrant display. Without them, the devices we take for granted simply wouldn't function. The ongoing green energy revolution also relies heavily on critical minerals. Electric vehicles, wind turbines, and solar panels all require these elements to store and generate clean energy efficiently. The defense industry is equally dependent, using critical minerals in advanced fighter jets, precision-guided munitions, and secure communication systems, making them vital for a nation's safety and technological edge. Any disruption in the supply of these minerals can quickly lead to shortages, threatening not just consumer electronics, but also national security and economic stability. For years, China has dominated the global supply of critical minerals, controlling much of the mining and processing. This has caused significant anxiety in Western countries who fear over-reliance on a single source. Recently, Canada's discovery of vast new reserves has emerged as a potential game-changer, offering hope for a more secure and diversified supply. This shift brings the supply chain closer to home for North America, reducing dependence on volatile regions and strengthening economic resilience. As trade routes and alliances adjust, this represents a monumental shift in global power dynamics, with new opportunities and challenges on the horizon. With its newfound resources, Canada is now positioned as a key player in the critical minerals race, shaping the future of technology, energy, and security worldwide. Canada's rise as a mineral superpower is no accident. The Canadian Shield is a treasure chest of critical minerals. Recent exploration has revealed world-class deposits of lithium, cobalt, and graphite. Canada is a leader in potash and future-facing minerals. It has significant reserves of nickel, copper, and rare earth elements. Projects are underway to break dependency on foreign sources. Canada's resources are attractive due to their accessibility and stability. They are located in a nation with strong environmental standards and a U.S. alliance. This makes Canada a secure partner for de-risking supply chains. Canada has become North America's Fort Knox for future raw materials. Its geological wealth and political stability are unmatched. The U.S. Canada partnership is undergoing a significant transformation, reflecting deeper economic ties and shifting priorities on both sides of the border. As America's demand for minerals grows, it is becoming increasingly reliant on Canadian resources to fuel its industries and technological ambitions. Despite being one of the world's largest consumers of minerals, the U.S. faces a shortage in domestic production, leaving many mines idle and equipment unused. This gap forces the U.S. to import critical minerals, creating a growing imbalance in the supply chain and raising questions about long-term sustainability. The electric vehicle industry, a major pillar of U.S. economic and environmental policy, is especially vulnerable, as it depends on a steady flow of raw materials that are increasingly hard to source domestically. Canada, with its vast mineral reserves and advanced processing facilities, has emerged as the indispensable supplier, meeting America's growing needs. This reliance isn't limited to civilian industries. The defense sector also depends on Canadian minerals, raising strategic concerns about national security and supply chain resilience. In response, the U.S. is working to friendshore its supply chains, prioritizing trusted partners like Canada to ensure stability and reliability in sourcing. However, efforts to develop U.S. mineral resources are hampered by lengthy permitting processes and regulatory hurdles, while Canada's streamlined approach allows it to expand production rapidly. This regulatory efficiency gives Canada a competitive edge, enabling it to outpace the U.S. in meeting both countries' mineral demands. As a result, America's economic growth and national security are becoming increasingly intertwined with decisions made in Ottawa and across Canada's mining sector. For Washington, navigating this new era of dependence will require careful diplomacy, strategic planning, and a renewed focus on building resilient partnerships with its northern neighbor. Canada's dominance in critical minerals is a result of strategic planning. Recognizing global demand, Canada identified its geological assets as key. The government released a critical minerals list, guiding investment and policy. Substantial government investment supports the entire supply chain. Canada aims to process minerals into higher-value materials domestically. International investment has been courted, securing deals for battery factories. Canada controls its strategic assets, developing them with trusted partners. This contrasts with the U.S.'s fragmented approach. Canada benefits from American policies favoring North American content. The U.S. lacks large-scale production, making Canadian mines essential. Canada has solidified its role in the continent's green transition. American leaders are shocked by Canada's mineral supremacy. Trump's comments reflect frustration with U.S. dependency. The Biden administration acknowledges reliance on Canadian supply chains. Efforts to boost U.S. mining and processing are underway. The Department of Energy and Defense are investing in domestic projects. Congress is pushing for mine permitting reform. Experts worry it's too late to catch up to Canada's head start. The U.S. is building a foundation while Canada is finishing its house. Strategic vulnerability is a concern, with Canada holding leverage. Policymakers must navigate this new reality carefully. The U.S. economic and security future is linked to Canadian resources. The shift in critical minerals control redefines U.S.-Canada relations. Canada now holds a powerful economic card. The U.S. must listen more closely to its northern neighbor. For Americans, this means more stable supply chains. However, Canadian industry will influence prices and technology adoption. For Canadians, the mineral boom promises economic opportunity. It could create jobs and fuel prosperity in key provinces. Canada must manage this boom responsibly, balancing climate goals and rights. A more integrated North American economy emerges. The U.S. provides the market, Canada the raw materials. The partnership strengthens both nations in the global arena.